welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are making a couple of Valentine's Day or love-themed cards. The first thing that I did is I actually went to my Cricut. So I know that there are dies out here on the market that will do this kind of full background with a word, but I don't have any of those. So I went to my Cricut and had my Cricut cut this out for me. I just connected all the letters and welded them together. And this is going to be a little mini slimline card. So it measures, when folded, 3.25, or no, excuse me, 3.5 by 6. So I just made sure that my letters were that size when they were all welded together. I'm using Concord and 9th inks for this particular one. We're going to make some shaker cards. And so one of the things I'm doing is I just wanted this to have a little bit of an ombre look to it. So I'm putting down this cranberry ink from Concord and 9th really heavy toward the bottom. And then I'm going to fade it up almost to white at the top. I apologize if you can hear my dog. I swear he sees dead people. I don't know people. I don't know. But he's barking at something. Anyway, so I am trying to keep in mind that these inks will smooth out as they dry, because it looks pretty rough right now. But they do smooth out as they dry. And so, like I said, I'm just trying to concentrate that ink toward the bottom and have it fade out toward the top. This really didn't take that long to do, and when I was happy with it, I just peeled this waffle flower grit mat away from the die, my little word there, and then I'm going to use some stamp cleaner and clean this stamp off. It doesn't take that long for that to dry, and I'm going to move on to the second card. So the second card I did a little bit different. I still wanted it to measure 3.5 by 6 when it was done, but I made it to where each of the letters was separate. So on the first one, I welded them all together so that they were like a single die cut. But on this one, I wanted to have different colors for each letter. And so, okay, it's the UPS or FedEx guy. That's why he's freaking out and having a spaz attack. Anyway, so again, trying to do that same thing. So this was the cranberry ink that we used on the first one. And again, just trying to concentrate that ink toward the bottom and then fading it up toward the top, toward it's almost white, maybe just pink. Here I have the O, and that's why it has that funny kind of shape to it. This is lilac ink from Concord and 9th. That's why it kind of has these funny shapes, because I wanted the L and the V to be a solid letter. I don't know why, but that's just kind of how it worked. And so that's why the the O and the E, the vowels, I guess, are going to have some kind of funny notches on them. Again, just once again, trying to concentrate that color toward the bottom and blend it out to a lighter color at the top. This one is Pink Lemonade. This one, I almost went back in with maybe a little bit darker, maybe like a grapefruit, just because it seemed very, I think I got a little heavy-handed with my ink blending. I should have left it right here, but I didn't. I kept messing with it, and so it ended up just looking like a solid pink lemonade throughout the whole thing. But it's okay. I didn't go back to it later. So now we're going to move on to the E. The E is in sea glass, and as you can see, there's that funny little notch on that that bottom side right there. That is because just of how I had it, my Cricut cut those out. So once again, trying to concentrate that color toward the bottom and fade it up toward the top. So we are going to make some full panel shakers today. So how I do that is I take, this is a 3.5 by 6 inch panel. This is Shiitake cardstock from Lessebo. I think that's how you say that. I'm really not sure. But anyway, I'm applying some strong double-sided tape to the 4 sides of this panel. And I'm doing this on both cards. This one is Bubblegum from Lessebo. And what I did my die cutting with my Cricut, that was just HAMMERMILL cardstock. Then I'm going to peel off the backers on 3 sides. We're going to create a little pocket. So on the left-hand side, that white, that is the backer still on the double-sided tape. What I'm wrapping around it is just some leftover packaging. So I usually keep my packaging when I get like new stamps or dies or anything. I usually keep the packaging that it comes in, and I put it in my own stamp pockets. So I just keep some of that and I cut it down to be probably about, when it's all said and done, maybe half an inch longer or wider than I need on all four sides. And I just take some scissors and I trim off the excess. I also take my scissors and kind of cut off these corners so that they're not so bulky. I'm trying to make sure that every piece of this is enclosed. I don't want there to be any gaps. Otherwise, all the things that you fill your shaker with are going to fall out. So this is a mix from, and I did that to the bubblegum panel also, just leaving one side open so I could fill it in. This is a mix that I think I got from Tailored Expressions. I made a big purchase from them, and this was like a freebie, like a free with X amount purchase. So I don't remember what it was called, but any sequin mix you have, I just really liked how this had some like clear, and it had some like mint and blue and pink kind of iridescent sequins in it. And then for this one on the shiitake, I just went to my stash. I think these, I think the red sequins are from Amazon, and I think the kind of small stars and iridescent hearts and stuff, that is actually from Dollar Tree. And now that I'm happy with how much is inside, I'm going to remove the backer from that last side and trim off the ends and close up our little shaker. And this is how you get a full panel shaker, and you can feel good about it because you used recycled packaging. So go you. So I wanted these to be pretty darn full because really at the end of the day, these flatten nicely. And so I wasn't too worried about them being overly bulky, but if you are going to mail them and you are concerned about the bulk, just kind of be conscious of how much you're putting in there. So normally I would use liquid glue. However, we are putting this on a slick surface. So whenever I do that, I use a tape runner. I could use that same double-sided tape I used on the back to adhere the packaging to it. However, this is a little bit easier, and I don't have to worry about release paper and things like that. I'm sorry, you can hear my dog. I know you can. I swear he's going to give himself an aneurysm. So in order for me to line this up, and I don't do it perfectly, but it helps to stand up your card base, your little shaker panel here, and use your desk as a flat surface to kind of get things aligned. Here I was trying to lift it back up, but that tape runner, and I get that from Amazon, that tape runner adheres pretty darn quick. So be confident. And remember that this is not a store-bought card. This is handmade, so people are going to love it. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. I'm just going to put that same tape runner on the back and line those up. And each of those letters will puzzle piece together just because of how I cut them out. That was kind of my goal in cutting them out like I did, so that I could have individual colors and not have to worry about masking, and I could paper pounce or ink blend. You could have you also could have cut these out from different colored cardstock or pattern paper, what have you. I did think about putting like a U on there or some other like sub-sentiment, but I kind of liked how they were, and I was struggling to figure out what else to put on there. So I just left them as they are. They are super fun to shake, and they are a mini slimline, and I will just put them in a coordinating envelope. You could put some glitters on there. You could put some shimmer. I just decided to leave them as they were. Here I'm grabbing their card bases. Again, these are 3.5 by 6, and I'm going to use that same double-sided tape that I used to adhere the clear acetate packaging down. I'm going to use that to adhere them down again. I could use liquid glue kind of in the middle because there's no acetate there. There's none of that packaging there. But this was out on my desk and it was handy, so that's how we're going to glue them all down. And that is it. That is both cards done. These really do come together very quick. If you have letter dies or alphabet dies, you could do this yourself. But I wanted to use my Cricut, and I was pretty pleased with how they turned out. So that is both of the cards done. I appreciate you spending time with me. I hope you felt inspired, and we'll see you next time. Bye.